this is Angela Gower-Johnson from ultimatedreamproject.com. Today I'd like to talk to you about the question, what would it take for this to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding than I ever imagined possible? So this is a question that I have used to change so many things in my life and to make them so much better. And it's a practice that I actually teach my clients to create absolute phenomenal change. So for me, I started using this question on the night of my first ever radio show. I remember I was absolutely shaking in my boots over this radio show interview. It was like my first one, and I'd never done anything like it, so it was like totally out of my comfort zone. This was a couple of years ago. It might have even been like 3 years ago. And I remember taking a bath because having baths was something that relaxed me a bit. And because I live in the UK and the radio show was in America, it was going to be airing a bit late for me. And I remember lying in the bath running, what would it take for this to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding than I ever imagined possible? And I just kept running it until I was able to get a bit of ease and peace. And it was just a tiny bit of ease and peace because the question was still new to me and I was just learning how to use that process. So I do access a tiny bit differently. So a lot of what I teach, almost every single question that I ask is an access consciousness question. But sometimes I do it a bit differently. Like when I ask questions, I sort of ask myself to be that thing that I'm asking about. Anyway, what I do now is ask it for everything. And what I teach people is to start asking it for everything. Like before you even get out of bed, ask, what would it take for this to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding than I ever imagined possible? And you could be loosely talking about the whole process of getting out of bed, or you could be talking about your day. You could definitely do it for having a shower. It might sound ridiculous, but I've actually changed my shower experience by asking this. And I also have anchored the energy of this in for my client sessions. So I used to ask for almost a whole year. I asked, what would it take for this to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding than I ever imagined possible? And I still ask it for new clients, and I also ask it if I'm not like 100% being me right before going on a call. And what that does is it just switches me, boom, right back into the space of being my greatness and totality. I just get into that place of, woohoo, what would it take for this to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding than I ever imagined possible? And I'm there. I'm really, really there. So for me, the biggest experience that I've had in using this question was I recently had surgery. I had my gallbladder removed, and I'd asked this question quite a few times before going into the hospital because it was not something that I was really looking forward to. And to be honest, it was the most fun experience compared to what it could have been. I mean, it just all went really well, and I didn't have any anxiety or weirdness, and I thought I might, but I didn't. And the relationships that I built with the doctors and the anesthesiologist and the nurses was incredible. It really was an incredible experience, especially compared to the other people that were there. I mean, I was just smiling the whole time, and everyone was commenting on how happy I was and how I was smiling and how unusual it was. So anyway, that's my most recent experience. But one thing that I found that was really, really fun was I was going on a shopping trip, and I went into a store and I was looking at clothes. And before I'd gone in, I'd done my thing of asking, what would it take for this to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding? And as I was shopping, I asked someone if a color suited me because I like to engage with people when I'm shopping. And I don't always like the whole process. Like, I'm not the most fashion aware person in the world. And I just like it. I like asking people's opinions and just talking to other people. So anyway, I asked this random stranger what she thought of this top. And then she went around and started helping me. And she said, you know what I do? She said, I don't know what you call it, but she's a person who works at a store, and she basically clothes people. She helps people find clothes. So I guess you'd call it like a personal shopping assistant or something. And it turned out that she was down at the store spying on the store for the whole company, because she worked for another store on the mainland. And so she not only helped me with finding everything, but then she said, come with me to the till. And we went to the till after she'd finished her thing. And I guess she'd just finished it before we met up. And she got me 30% off of all my shopping. So not only did she help me and not charge me for her time, and she spent like a good hour with me and went into the dressing room with me and everything. But then she took me to the till, and she used her company card to get me 30% off. So I put all of that down to what would it take for this to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding than I ever imagined possible. And what I do is have these experiences all the time now when I'm out and about, where I have these magical, fun, amazing experiences. And I believe that it's all down to this question of what would it take for this to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding than I ever imagined possible. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And what would it take for this to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding than you ever imagined possible?